This is Overtime inside the Casino-Rama Grill Room. Of course, this man to my right is Ted DiBiase Jr. We covered a lot of ground during the show. Let's cover a little bit more. I'm going to call it Story Time featuring Ted DiBiase Jr.
All right.
I know you got a very cool story about Bret Hart. And I know it's one of the reasons why he was your favorite wrestler, other than your father growing up.
Absolutely. You know, one time I remember I went with my father on the road and watching the matches. And usually I would sit backstage, you know, and he asked me, he said, you want to sit out by the ring and sit ringside this time? I was like, yeah, sure, that'd be fun, you know, kind of be in the crowd. And I had kind of like a bodyguard guy watching me. And I remember Bret Hart comes out, the music hits, and I always liked him. But then, you know, he's coming down, he's got the leather jacket on, you know. I'm like, man, this guy's so cool. All of a sudden he turns the ringside and he's coming right at me. I'm like, no way, he's not about to do this. And then he takes the glasses off, puts them right on top of me, tightens them up, and I'm just sitting there shocked. I had the glass. I thought I was the coolest thing.
Did he know who you were at the time?
Yeah,
Oh,
he knew. So
it's
it
a
was
classy
cool.
move.
But yeah, you know, I had met him. It wasn't like we hung out. You know, it was just like, oh, I met Bret Hart, and then he does that. You know, I felt so special. I was like VIP, you know.
You've met a lot of legends, including Andre the Giant. The guy was an absolute monster.
Oh, my God. I remember the first time I met Andre. Okay, the first time I met Andre, I'm looking at this guy. I'd wanted to meet him. I told my dad he's one of the guys I wanted to meet because my dad would manage him, you know. So I was like, I want to meet him. And we walk backstage. We come in. I remember he's like, all right, there he is. Go introduce yourself. And I'm looking at this man sitting down on a chair, and he's enormous. He's the size of a refrigerator sitting down. You know, so I walk over, and I run back to my dad a couple times, and he's like, it's okay. He's nice. And I walk over there. He's like, come here, little fella, you know, in this Andre voice. I can't do it. But he reaches out, grabs me, like palms the top of my head like a basketball, and I'm just looking at him, and he just picks me up, sits me on his lap, and he's just sitting there bouncing me on his leg, and I thought it was the coolest thing. So I'm like following
Because it was the coolest thing.
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
And so I'm like following Andre around all day, and I'm making him pick me up by my head. You know, he just picked me up 8 feet off the ground and put me back down.
That is awesome.
So.
That's even cooler than Virgil picking you up from school, dude. Even cooler. And what's amazing about your job right now is other people that are coming up and kids today are going to repeat those exact same stories about a guy like you from years from now.
I hope
That's
so.
really cool.
I hope so.
Make sure you pick up the Marine 2. It's available on Blu-ray and DVD. This guy's the star of that flick, so you don't want to miss it. See you next time.